say يعني إن شاء الله give us مغفرة because ملائكة do دعاء
إن شاء الله.
Here we are with the angel now.
13.
أستاذ حلوة طالعة من حلجك أنت أمل. حلوة الله يحفظك يا رب. يا رب يسعدك وينفع قدرك الدنيا والآخرة وينصرك على من عاداك. اللهم آمين. ها ما أنت فاهمة عربي أنت مو بسيطة.
الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. وعن أبي واقد الليثي رضي الله عنه قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم ما قطع من البهيمة وهي حية فهو ميت. وهذا أخرجه أبو داود والترمذي وحسنه واللفظ له واللفظ يعني للترمذي.
ما قطع من الذبيحة فهو ميت؟
ما قطع من البهيمة وهي حية يعني هذا حال فهو ميت. نعم. So this mentions is whatever is severed of the body parts of the cattle of bahima is either camel, cow or sheep whilst it's alive.
What's the word?
A behima. So behima means like cattle, like anything that is camel, cow or sheep. So it's severed from the behima whilst it's alive. Then it is considered to be mayyit. Mayyit meaning you're not allowed to eat it. Haram al-akl. No. ولكن إذا ذبحت ثم قطعت فلا بأس. If it was slaughtered and then severed, no problem. No, but if it didn't, because what is with الذبح لابد من إغراق الدم أو يعني إخراج الدم.
ولازم تموت تطلع روحها قبل ما نقطعها.
نعم هذا
هذا من باب الإحسان ولا من باب
نعم من باب الشر يعني يكون الذبح في طريقة الشرع يعني بإزالة الدم إخراج الدم وكذلك الروح. نعم. So when it's slaughtered in the correct way and the blood leaves and the soul leaves obviously, then the whole animal becomes halal. But prior to that time, قبل الذبح إذا قطع شيء منه أو شيء منه فهو كحكم الميت. It has the same ruling as that which is considered to be carrion, carcass meat.
عفوا أستاذ الصوف حلال.
نعم.
الصوف يصير
هو
حي.
وهو حي نعم. ما في دم في الصوف.
نعم. بس أنا أتأكد من باب التأكيد.
أي.
Sorry, when you say carcasses, when the animal dies, like by falling or
anyway, anyway that hasn't been slaughtered.
Again, if animal is die ما ناخذ صوفه حرام. إذا ميتة بهيمة أو غير أو ثعلب أو بهيمة.
هناك فرق بين الشعر والجلد.
يعني نبدأ ناخذ.
الجلد مختلف. الجلد لابد من تطهير. نعم. وهذا في باب لابد من مراجعة إن شاء الله. Now, what's mentioned here ما أبين فهناك قاعدة ما أبين من حي فهو كميتته. نعم. So whatever has been severed from that which is alive, then it's the same as that which is dead. It's like it when it is dead. It has to be done after slaughtering. Now, what's mentioned? فما أبين من الحيوان الذي إذا مات صار نجسا فهو نجس. So that which is apparent from the animal, when it dies, it becomes what? Najis. So it's also najis.
Any animal?
نعم. هذا عام. وأما ما أبين من الحيوان الذي إذا مات فهو طاهر غير حلال فهو طاهر غير حلال. So he mentioned as for that which is apparent from an animal, if it dies, but it still remains pure, but not halal, it cannot be eaten and consumed, then it is tahir, but not halal. For example, al-adami, mankind. al-adami ميتته طاهرة. نعم ولكن غير حلال. غير halal. It's not halal, you can't eat it. No.
Like the cat. Would that go in the same bracket?
The cat is يعني مستثنى, it's exempt
ليش؟
because of the tawafin. Tawafa عليك, because it's always around you.
Yes, it's pure.
فهذا من باب التيسير. نعم.
So يعني حلال إذا يعني يموت.
It's طاهر ولكن غير حلال.
Yeah.
نعم. For example, ما قطع من شاة وهي حية فهو كميتتها. Whatever is taken from a sheep whilst it's alive, severed from a sheep whilst it's alive, then it's like it when it's dead. Najis, haram. أما الحوت, as for a fish, ما قطع من الحوت فهو طاهر حلال. Whatever is taken from a fish, cut from a fish whilst it's alive, is still pure and halal. Why? Because ميتته halal. Because the dead fish are still halal to be eaten. واضح الفرق? Is clear the difference? Now, as for animals that need to be slaughtered, when they die, they're najis. Now, they're najis.
Okay, هل ينجس يعني إذا مسكت أتوضأ؟ Am I have to do wudu if I touch it?
لا لا لا.
No. Okay.
مسح النجاسة لا
بس
يعني
النجاسة صح لا ينقض الوضوء.
نعم.
نعم صحيح. سوري نسيت. بس أغسل إيدي.
نعم. إذا نعم.
نعم.
نعم. So هذا واضح. This is clear يعني. That which is dead, when it's dead, if it hasn't been slaughtered, it's لا يجوز أكله, it's haram to eat. But the ruling of that is, for example, if you take from its body whilst it's alive without slaughtering it. For example, a person sees a sheep and it cuts off the leg, so I'm going to eat the leg, لا, and leave it with what, 3 legs, لا يجوز. هذا حرام. هذا إساءة والإيذاء أصلا. This is evil and harm towards the animal, which is لا يجوز في الإسلام. Also, حكمه كحكم الميت. The same ruling as if it's dead. If it's dead and it hasn't been slaughtered, it's najis, haram أكله. فكذلك إذا قطع, if something's been severed from it, haram أكله. It's haram and najis.
Including the liver and the spleen? Or that is apart from everything?
That's blood, that's different. That wouldn't be allowed to be eaten from the animal that's dead.
Because from this hadith, there's 2 types of dead animals and 2 types of blood.
No, that's a different hadith.
Yeah, so would you make like qiyas?
لا ما في قياس. لأن هذا يعني الدم حلال من أكل الحلال. نعم. For example, the spleen and the liver still has to be only from the meat that is halal.
Okay.
Because something that is dead, لا يجوز أكله بتة. You can't eat nothing from it at all. Anything, nothing at all.
الكبد الحلال.
نعم.
كبد وهاي يعتبر هذا الدم.
نعم. ولكن ليس من ميت، لازم من مذبوح.
في بعضهم ياكلونه حي، ياكلونه بدون طبخ.
نعم وهذا الله المستعان يعني جائز ولكن ما شاء الله.
شفتهم إذا شنو عليه ليمون ياكلون.
الله المستعان هذا صعب. Some people eat liver and these things raw. They don't cook it.
Direct from ship.
No.
Yeah, there's diet cannibalism.
Yeah, they said nice.
And you know, you said humans of Bulugh when they die. you can't
Give
eat
them power.
From the animal.
From the human.
La.
La.
No.
Because people do that now, don't they? Yeah.
No, what?
Eating human
They
placenta.
save the placenta and they eat it.
Yeah.
Allah al-Musta'an.
Yeah.
Astaghfirullah, I don't even want to hear that.
Yeah, they say it has like health benefits.
There's so much things with health benefits, forget that one. Allah al-Musta'an.
Okay.
There's so much alternatives. Like,
Alternative يعني شنو؟
now we're behaving like animals, that's what animals they do.
Yeah.
Now,
شنو alternative أستاذ؟
بالعربية.
أنا كذا أكتب عشان عقب أتعلم شرح أشوف يسهل علي شرح.
alternatives يعني أشياء يعني
دخيلة؟
يحل محله يعني.
أوكي
نعم.
الثاني alternative.
أي
Quick Arabic test.
يحل محله.
شوفي كله بالإنجليزي. هذا الإنجليزي. So when he explain, I understand. I don't need to every time to stop him.
Oh, skip.
طيب, so the next thing that the author then goes on to discuss is Babul Aniya, to do with vessels, utensils, utensils and the likes. Mentioned hadith number 14 عن حذيفة بن اليمان رضي الله عنهما قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم لا تشربوا في آنية الذهب والفضة ولا تأكلوا في صحافهما فإنها لهم في الدنيا ولكم في الآخرة متفق عليه. ففي هذا الحديث, in this hadith, there's a prohibition of eating and drinking from gold and silver utensils. Do not drink in utensils from gold or silver, nor should you eat in the plates of them. This also includes cutlery. And what does it mention? فَإِنَّهَا لَهُمْ فِي الدُّنْيا. لَهُمْ بمعنى is for them, for who? Al-Kuffar. It's for kuffar in the world life, وَلَنَا أَوَلَكُمْ يعني في الآخرة, and for you, i.e. for the Muslims, in the hereafter. في الجنة. قوارير من فضة قدروها تقديرا. سورة الإنسان. نعم. So, الإناء هو الوعاء. The reason why they mention this in the book of Tahara and not later in the book of food and drink is because of water. And it can only be stored in a vessel or utensils in a vessel. So it's for you to know that you're not allowed to store water in gold and silver either. You don't use gold and silver utensils to store water, nor to drink water from. No. And that's why it's mentioned, because water can only be stored in a vessel. So that's why it's mentioned in this chapter, in the chapter of purification, and not later in the chapter of food. Now, food and drink. The asl of awani, the asl of what's it called, utensils, is that it's halal, right? Because it's min al-ashya, it's not from ibadah, it's from ashya. It's from just things. And the asl fil ashya, ibaha. Matters to do with just worldly things is that it's permissible until evidence shows that it's what? Impermissible. And this is an example of that. So utensils is fine. Any utensil is fine to use. Now we have exemption though. The exemption is that which is made from gold and silver.
Is it too extreme for somebody to assume that the sunnah is to eat with the hands, so the utensils are makruh?
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's makruh. It's not makruh to use anything else at all. You can use your fingers as sunnah, to your three fingers. Not what somebody do with the hand. They do that. And they do this. And they throw it back. That's definitely not sunnah. That's makruh. That is makruh. So if you're going to eat the hands, 3 fingers, now.
Before I told when to use the code. Now nobody eats like this.
They do.
Some people,
They do.
yeah.
Yeah.
They really do.
Arabs, culture.
Arabs, Asians.
Most that use the hands. Better not to mention ethnicities. Now.
Yeah, we get council. Shouldn't I do? So even the things that are covered, you know, like you get a silver utensil, it says silver, but it's not silver.
If it's not real silver, it's fine. If it's just painted with the color of silver, it's fine. But if it's actual silver, لا يجوز.
If painted, okay. Even if pure ذهب, pure gold, but يعني نقول مغسول بماء الذهب.
No, if it's gold, لا يجوز.
اها بس لو كان fake okay.
نعم.
ذهبي okay. Yeah, I know. إذا أستاذ بس one thing. لو كانت أنت معزوم عند ناس وصينية عودة من ذهب، حاطين فيها العيش، حاطين فيها الرز.
لا تأكل منه.
اوكي ما يصير انت لا وحاطين للناس صحون plate from gold. Should I just change my plate or I can't even eat from that wall rice?
الله أعلم. Allah knows best.
بس انت دقيقة.
الله أعلم. But for example, let's say you had a vessel made out of diamond. Someone says, but diamond is very expensive. Can you store water? Can you drink from a diamond cup?
I think no بالقياس. بالقياس no.
لا.
You said no.
You can.
Yeah, you can.
حلال.
Why?
لأن المذكور ماذا؟ الذهب والفضة.
What about القياس؟
ما في قياس. لماذا قياس؟
قياس لأنه مثل ما الذهب والفضة حرام، إذا هذا الدايموند حرام.
لا لماذا؟
بالقياس هي كده بالقياس.
Diamond is not like gold and silver.
لماذا لا نقاس؟ لماذا ما في قياس؟
لماذا ما في قياس؟
نعم. لأن الأصل الحلال إلا بدليل. The أصل في الأشياء is permissible unless you have evidence. So if someone says it's haram, you have to have now evidence. Quran والسنة.
إيه هو مجوهرات. يعتبر
لا ولكن هل ذكر في الحديث لا تشربوا من الجوهرات ولا الياقوت والمرجان، أو قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم لا تشربوا من آنية الذهب والفضة. خلاص.
But what about that being forbidden in like extravagance? Wouldn't we have to do the qiyas on that?
هذا مثلا ولكن for some people it's not إسراف. Some people's level of lifestyle is different.
أي والله الله يعطينا.
لا يسوي شيئا لهم. No. But it may be something that is يعني مكروه من باب الإسراف and you disliked because of how much it costs and the likes. No. But الشرب حكم الشرب والحفظ يعني محافظة الماء في جائز.
الحين أقنعتني because you said الياقوت والمرجان. He didn't mention الياقوت والمرجان واللؤلؤ.
نعم والماس ولا شيء.
So
نعم.
now yes.
فهذه قاعدة مهمة جدا. Because some people they make your life as a Muslim difficult. No. They make your life as a Muslim very difficult by making everything haram. La. Matters that are not is worship. They're worldly things. The asl is that it's what? Permissible until you have evidence. Like food and drink is all permissible except for the exemptions. And that's based upon evidence. And those exemptions are not many. You see? And that shows the ease of the religion. Now,
So when do you use qiyas? When it's something new or something exactly the same? Because
it's something new. And the illah, the reason of prohibition, the reasoning of the ruling is known. Because they have to share the same illah, they have to share the same ruling. Now, in the hadith, isn't the illah لا يذكر. The illah is not mentioned. Now, it just says خاص بالذهب والفضة. هل كان أحجار ثمينة في أحسن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم؟ موجود.
بس ما عندهم، هم فقراء ما عندهم.
لا ولكن موجود.
نعم موجود.
لكن ما ذكر.
ما ذكره.
Now, the precious stones and the likes was present there. But it was never mentioned. Only thing that was mentioned was gold and silver. You know. So that's why, for example, someone tells you, oh, you can't wear that item of clothing. Okay, type Adili. What's the evidence? They can't give you evidence. Say, Akhi, please, Ukhti, la, please. لا تصعب. Don't make things difficult. الأشياء مباحة إلا بالدليل. Things are permissible until you have evidence to prove otherwise. If you don't have evidence, خلاص. That's it. So here, the utensils from gold and silver are not permissible now. This is also a test because sometimes people, when they have money, they want to have things like this. You know, and again, it's for you to understand Islam is submission. And the strongest part of submission is fighting against desires. And also it emphasizes that this is not from the ways of the Muslims. These things are for the kuffar. But again, if a person does now purchase these things, they're now following the ways of the kuffar. So we'll stop there, inshallah, with Bulugh al-Maram. And we'll continue, inshallah, next week on now the topic of utensils. So before, there's matters to do with water, that which is najasat, things of impurities. Now we have utensils, inshallah. So we'll continue from next week with that, inshallah ta'ala. And now, any books you can learn with. If you can message me privately, it's better, inshallah. I don't have time in this class to do that now, to give advice on that which is not related to the class. If it's slaughtered and it doesn't die from a shock, then it's halal, yes. But if it dies, then no.